In the year 1453, Constantinople, the shining jewel of the Byzantine Empire, stood as the last barrier between Christian Europe and the rising power of the Ottoman Turks. For centuries, its golden domes and mighty walls had withstood countless sieges. The city was more than just stone and mortar. It was a symbol of an empire's pride, faith, and glory. But as the spring of 1453 arrived, a dark shadow loomed. Sultan Mehmed II, a young ruler with ambition greater than his years, set his eyes on the city. His armies gathered, cannons were built, and whispers of the empire's fall spread across the land. Constantinople, once the heart of Rome's eastern legacy, now stood at the edge of destiny. Inside the ancient palace, Emperor Constantine XI Palaiologos, the last ruler of Byzantium, looked upon his people with a heavy heart. He knew his empire had shrunk to just this single city. Surrounded by enemies, abandoned by allies, he carried the burden of centuries on his shoulders. Messengers brought grim news. Western Europe would not send aid. The Pope promised prayers, but no armies. The Venetians and Genoese sent only a handful of ships. Still, Constantine stood tall. He walked among his soldiers, reminding them of their sacred duty. His voice trembled but carried fire. Better to die with honor within these walls than live as slaves under the crescent. The men cheered, though fear lingered in their eyes, for they knew what was coming. On April 6, 1453, the earth trembled as Mehmed's cannons roared for the first time. Never before had such weapons been used against Constantinople. Stones larger than men smashed into the walls, shaking the city's foundations day after day, night after night. The bombardment continued. Yet the defenders, though outnumbered and exhausted, fought back fiercely. Greek fire lit the sky, arrows rained down, and the walls, though cracked, refused to collapse. From the towers, women and children carried stones, water, and weapons to aid their fathers and brothers. The city's spirit remained unbroken, but everyone wondered, how long could faith withstand steel and fire? As weeks turned into months, desperation grew. Food became scarce. Disease spread among the defenders. Within the city, rumors whispered of betrayal, that a secret meeting took place among some merchants and nobles. Wealth, survival, and fear weighed heavier than loyalty. They plotted to open a hidden gate to the Ottomans in exchange for their lives. But not all hearts were corrupt. A young soldier overheard the treachery and raced to warn the emperor. Constantine confronted the traitors, his voice cold with fury. If this city is to fall, it will fall with honor, not treason. The conspirators were executed at dawn. Yet even with betrayal stopped, the walls could not hold forever. The empire's fate was written, and the ink was blood. May 29, 1453. The day of destiny arrived. Before dawn, Mehmed unleashed his final assault. Waves upon waves of soldiers stormed the walls. The air filled with screams, cannon fire, and the clash of steel. Emperor Constantine, refusing to hide in his palace, donned his armor and joined his soldiers at the weakest point of the wall. Sword in hand, he fought like a common soldier, striking down foes until he was surrounded. Eyewitnesses said his last words were, "The city is lost, but not my soul." Then he vanished in the chaos, his body never found. The last Roman emperor died as he had lived, defending the dream of Rome. As the sun rose, the banners of the Ottomans flew over the Hagia Sophia. Mehmed II, now known as Mehmed the Conqueror, entered the fallen city in awe. Constantinople, once the eternal capital of Byzantium, had become Istanbul, the jewel of the Ottoman Empire. For Europe, the fall of the city was a nightmare, marking the end of the Middle Ages. For the Ottomans, it was the beginning of a new golden age. The ancient Roman Empire, after more than 1,000 years, had finally breathed its last. Yet, in every stone of the ruined walls, in every whispered prayer of its people, Constantinople remained immortal, not as a city of the past, but as a timeless symbol of human resilience, faith, and destiny.